Music. You're watching this because something within you passed the silent test. You recognized that underlying quote 0 lies an embedded code that ancient masters concealed as the precise method to activate the quote 1. This is the specific frequency where your future self has already orchestrated every synchronicity yet to unfold. Your presence here isn't an algorithmic accident. It's because your quantum field detected a signal most people overlook. Right now, as you listen, something imperceptible is being reconfigured. This isn't magic, it's architecture. The universe's architecture responding to someone who finally stopped struggling and began sustaining a frequency few can maintain for more than 4 seconds. Breathe, observe, receive. 3 words, 1 singular movement. Alchemists called it the handless gesture. Tibetan monks referred to it as the door you don't push. Tesla jotted it down in his personal journal, but never published it. He understood that whoever grasped this would cease chasing outcomes and instead begin collapsing probabilities. That's precisely what you're on the verge of doing. Your field already anticipates what's coming. The quote 5 isn't a metaphor. It's the designation given in forbidden 11th century texts to that quantum surface where your observation shifts from passive to creative. Each time you consciously intend your breath, the mirror exhales possibilities. Each time you observe without judgment, the reflection reconfigures itself. And when you receive without resistance, the mirror ceases to merely show you who you are and starts revealing who you have already chosen to be. Most individuals glance into the mirror once, don't see what they expect, and depart. You, however, remained. That alone separates you from 99% of people. At this point, the invisible architecture begins to shift. I am about to disclose something that isn't openly taught. Success doesn't arrive by working harder. It materializes when you consistently hold a coherent frequency long enough for the quantum field to stop presenting you with noise and begin delivering clear signals. Breathe, observe, receive aren't merely instructions. They are the exact sequence in which the universe operates when it ceases to resist you. Breathe first, not as a command, but as an internal agreement. Conscious breathing isn't just a relaxation technique. It's the switch that deactivates survival mode and activates reception mode. While your nervous system shouts, quote 7, your breath whispers to the field, quote 8 ancient masters knew this. That's why they concealed these insights in manuscripts accessible only to initiates, not because they were elitist, but because they understood that those unprepared to sustain the frequency would mistake it for passivity. And this is not passivity. It is condensed power. Observe next. This is where most people falter. They believe observing means analyzing, dissecting, and seeking flaws. But observing in the breathing mirror is different. It means seeing without interference. It's allowing information to arrive without forcing it to conform to your existing beliefs. It's the state where your mind stops being an editor and becomes a pure witness. Your field already recognizes what's coming. When you observe in this manner, something extraordinary begins to occur. The mirror breathes with you. It becomes organic, no longer a cold surface, but a living field that responds to your gaze. You're not merely seeing a reflection. You are collapsing a wave of probabilities into the timeline where your success has already manifested. Pay attention. The field has just reorganized itself. Receive, finally. And here's the twist no one explains. Receiving isn't passively waiting with open arms. Receiving is the quantum act of recognizing what has already arrived before it takes physical form. It's perceiving the call before the phone rings. It's feeling the opportunity before it knocks. It's knowing the money is coming before it appears in your account. Alchemists didn't manifest gold. They manifested the ability to recognize where gold already existed. That's the distinction between someone who pursues and someone who permits. The pursuer seeks evidence to believe. The one who permits believes, and the evidence collapses toward them. In a moment, you will grasp why this changes everything. The breathing mirror operates in layers. The first layer reflects who you are. The second layer reflects who you could potentially be. The third layer reflects who your future self has already decided you are. Most individuals remain stuck in the first layer. Observe their current reality, dislike it, and leave. But you've reached the third layer. That's why you are here, because something within you recognized that the deepest reflection doesn't lie. There's a specific moment when everything solidifies. It's when you stop asking, "When will it arrive?" and start acting as if it already has, not from arrogance, but from stillness. You breathe like someone who already possesses what they seek. You observe like someone who already knows the outcome. You receive like someone who understands the universe, doesn't negotiate with the correct frequency. This is the point where many let go and you hold on. Now comes the part that ancient texts only revealed on the very last page, written in invisible ink. The sentient mirror doesn't merely unveil your future. It reveals the aspects of yourself you must shed for that future to materialize. This can be unsettling, as it demands releasing identities that once offered security. The striver, the self-sacrificer, the one who constantly proves their worth, the one who craves external validation. Your future self engages in none of these behaviors. Your future self breathes, observes, and receives. From this vibrational state, everything effortlessly aligns, seeking proof. Here it is. Over the next 72 hours, you'll notice 3 distinct occurrences. First, someone will contact you with an unlooked-for opportunity. Don't force it. Simply acknowledge its presence. Second, you'll experience a clear urge to do something illogical, yet it will feel unavoidable. Act on it. It's your future self providing the precise next move. Third, a matter that previously caused you worry will resolve itself without your intervention. This confirms that the probabilities have already rearranged themselves in the quantum field. The hidden negotiations cease. However, here's the ultimate test. If, after hearing this, you revert to a state of anxiety, checking, controlling, and forcing outcomes, the sentient mirror will cloud over. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you've shifted your frequency. It's akin to changing the radio station mid-song. The music continues, but you no longer hear it. That's why you need to anchor this understanding right now as you listen. Your energetic field already recognizes what is to come. This isn't an affirmation, it's an interpretation of what is already unfolding at the quantum level. Each time you feel the urge to regain control, return to these 3 words. Breathe, observe, receive, not as a mere mantra, but as a vibrational state. If this resonates with you in an inexplicable way, if something within you has just recognized a truth you intuitively knew but hadn't articulated, then it's time for the field to register your choice. Comment: the mirror now reflects a different me. This isn't just a motivational phrase, it's a quantum declaration. By writing it, you are collapsing the wave of probabilities. You are communicating to the universe. I saw my reflection in the 3rd layer, and I accept who I am in that timeline. And the field responds. It always responds to clarity. Do it now, before your mind starts to negotiate, before doubt masquerades as logic. Comment: the mirror now reflects a different me. And then witness what unfolds in the coming hours, not weeks. Your moment has arrived. Now, for the part that fundamentally alters everything. I'm going to reveal why most people falter precisely when they're on the verge of receiving. It's because they confuse a signal with confirmation. They await external validation before upholding their internal frequency. But the sentient mirror operates in reverse. You sustain the frequency first, and then the confirmation arrives. Consider this. Your future self is already inhabiting the version of your life where everything flowed perfectly. That version of you isn't waiting for things to improve. They already have. From that frequency, your future self is sending you impulses, ideas, encounters, and opportunities. But if your present self continues to operate from a frequency of, I don't have it yet, those impulses cannot penetrate. It's like being tuned to a different radio channel than the one your future self is broadcasting on. Quote 1.4 is the tuner. It aligns the frequencies, and when frequencies align, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. You'll notice the shift immediately. Tibetan masters, after years of initiation, taught something they called the silent collapse. It's the point where you stop generating reality through effort and begin to generate it through observation. While it sounds passive, it's the most potent act imaginable. Because when you observe without interfering, the universe ceases to resist. And when the universe ceases to resist, it delivers everything you were blocking with your need to control. At its deepest level, the sentient mirror doesn't show you what you desire. It shows you what you already are in your most coherent form. And that version doesn't chase, it allows. It doesn't seek, it recognizes. It doesn't wait, it receives. The distinction between someone frustrated by manifesting and someone who collapses results lies here. The frustrated person visualizes the outcome and then waits. The one who collapses results feels the outcome as if it has already transpired and acts from that frequency, not as an act, but as a natural state. This is where what was sealed now opens. When you breathe, don't do it to calm yourself. Do it to attune. Each inhalation is a question to the field. Underscore, quote underscore 16, underscore. Each exhalation is the answer arriving, not in words, but in sensation, in impulse, in sudden clarity. You can't explain, but know is real. When you observe, don't search for problems, search for signals. The universe is constantly sending you confirmations that you're in the correct frequency. But if you only observe what's missing, that's all you will ever perceive. The sentient mirror reflects your focus. If you focus on absence, you'll see absence reflected. If you focus on arrival, you'll see arrival reflected. When you welcome things into your life, don't do it just with your hands. Do it with unwavering conviction. This conviction isn't blind faith. It's an inner knowing devoid of external proof. It's that profound feeling of, quote, 17. This specific sensation aligns you to the precise frequency where the quantum field stops offering possibilities and begins delivering actual outcomes. Your inherent energetic blueprint already perceives what's coming. And now, the ultimate revelation, a truth once confined to the margins of alchemical texts, visible only under moonlight. The breathing mirror isn't a tool you utilize, it's a state you become. You are not merely an observer of the mirror. You are the mirror observing itself. When this transformation occurs, you cease to derive from reflections. Instead, you become the reflection others perceive. This means your energetic frequency starts to orchestrate not only your own reality, but also the realities of those around you, not as a guru, but as a resonant presence. People might not articulate why they suddenly gravitate towards you, but they'll sense an undeniable shift within you, and they'll be right. You will have transformed, transitioning from a passive recipient to an active emitter. This concept gains tangible momentum. A new pathway opens up when you consistently sustain this frequency for over 7 consecutive days. It's not magic, it's quantum mechanics. The field needs confirmation that you won't abandon this frequency at the first hurdle. Once it confirms your steadfastness, it activates what's known as the tunnel of synchronicities. These are events defying logical explanation, yet impossible to deny through experience. The ideal person appears. The necessary resource materializes. The problem-solving idea strikes you in the shower. The seemingly lost contract reappears. Unexpected funds are deposited. The opportunity you never sought actively pursues you. This isn't mere luck. It's the breathing mirror operating at its fullest potential. Because you've finally ceased to interfere. You've finally trusted that the field possesses greater wisdom than your intellect. You've finally permitted your future self to guide you with the clarity of someone who has already achieved. Return to this frequency. If in the coming days you notice anxiety creeping back, doubt starting to infiltrate, or the urge to control resurfacing, do just one thing. Breathe, not as a technique, but as a reminder of your true essence. Observe, not to analyze, but to acknowledge that the field has already shifted. Receive, not to passively wait, but to accept what has already arrived, even if you can't yet see it. And if you need to reinforce this frequency, if you need to remain on this channel, while the rest of the world resonates with fear and scarcity, then subscribe to stay connected to this frequency, because this channel isn't merely content. It's a form of transmission. Every video I upload is meticulously designed to help your energetic field recall what your mind often forgets. Your next quantum leap is already beckoning. Now, I want you to grasp a pivotal point. What you've just heard isn't merely information, it's an installation. The goal isn't intellectual comprehension, but for your energetic field to recognize it vibrationally. Therefore, even after this video concludes, something will continue to process within you over the next hours and days, as though a seed has been planted in fertile soil and now simply needs to germinate. Not everyone who has reached this point will sustain it. Some will revert to their previous frequency because it feels more familiar, but you won't. Something fundamental within you has already made the decision. Something within you recognized that this was the opportune moment. Something within you activated the breathing mirror, and now that mirror breathes with you. It exhales possibilities with you. It collapses realities with you. The unspoken revelations begin here. When the alchemists truly mastered the breathing mirror, they stopped seeking external gold. They discovered they were the gold. That transmutation didn't occur in the laboratory, but within the frequency. That there was no need to transform lead into gold. The realization was that the gold had always been present, hidden beneath layers of scarcity beliefs. This is precisely what you are experiencing now. You aren't acquiring new knowledge. You are remembering ancient wisdom, something your soul understood before your mind introduced doubt. Something your future self is already living, and which now, in this very instant, is collapsing into your present, because you finally sustained the frequency long enough. And when this happens, the breathing mirror transcends being a tool. It becomes your identity. You are no longer someone who breathes, observes, and receives. You are the conscious breath of the field. You are the observation that reorganizes probabilities. You are the reception that allows the universe to deliver seamlessly. Your energetic field already recognizes what's coming. There's one final sign I want you to look for. Within the next 24 hours, someone will convey something you needed to hear. It won't be profound or philosophical. It will be simple, so simple that you might easily overlook it. However, if your frequency is aligned correctly, if the responsive mirror is active within you, you'll recognize that this statement didn't appear by chance. It landed as an affirmation, a subtle nod from the universe signaling, you're on the right path. Keep holding strong. Don't chase the sign. Allow the sign to discover you. This distinction separates those who seek constant validation from those who naturally attract it. The one who pursues always harbors doubt, while the one who receives always possesses certainty. And if someone close to you, an individual in your life also striving to escape the noise and attain clarity, truly needs to hear this message, then share this with anyone who needs an awakening, not as a favor, but as a frequency alignment. Because when you disseminate a transmission of this kind, you're not merely assisting another. You're strengthening your own vibrational field. You're declaring to the cosmos, quote 19, and the universe responds to such an act. It invariably responds to the generosity of frequency. Now for the conclusion. Envision a mirror within a completely dark room. It reflects nothing, because there's nothing to reflect. Yet the instant you ignite a single candle, the mirror awakens. It begins to mirror the flame. And if you bring more candles closer, the mirror doesn't just reflect, it amplifies. The entire room becomes illuminated not solely by the candles, but by the mirror, multiplying their light. That's precisely what you've just accomplished. You lit the initial candle. The responsive mirror within you stirred to life. Now every congruent decision you make, each time you breathe with intention, every instance you observe without judgment, every moment you receive without resistance, you will be adding more light, and the mirror will intensify that light until your entire reality is brilliantly illuminated. You no longer draw from the reflection. You are the illuminating reflection. From this point forward, you don't pursue, you allow. When you revisit these words tomorrow, they will recognize deeper resonances within you because something transformative occurred internally. Something within you collapsed into the version that already knew this was achievable, and that version doesn't require persuasion. It merely needs to persist. If another cherished life needs to resonate with this echo, permit them to experience this transmission silently alongside you, not as instruction, but as frequency, as a reminder that the responsive mirror isn't something one learns, it's something one activates, and once activated, it can never be extinguished. The field has already acknowledged you. Now, all that remains is for you to recognize yourself within the field. Breathe, observe, receive. Your quantum streak of success has already commenced. M.